Hello and welcome back to the WGL APAC Season 1. We are now into our final match of today, Alex, and it's going to be a pretty good one here. Wargaming
should be pretty
coming
good.
out up against the Horsemen. How do we feel about this?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. After that last one, though, of course, I think we need a bit of a breather, and I think that's what Wargaming is not going to give us. They're going to give us the opposite of that.
And it's Horsemen as well.
And exactly, and it's Horsemen as well. Horsemen, of course, one of the most aggressive teams in the league traditionally. They've been trying a few different strategies last week and the week before as well. Trying a few more of the defensive lineups, trying to set a few traps here or there, particularly in their game against, I think it was Team Efficiency a couple of weeks ago, week 3,
Right.
But overall, I think this one, it is going to be the clash of the aggressive teams. So
Definitely,
expect lots of fire, lots of movement, lots of fast tanks.
Definitely going to be an exciting matchup coming out here. Wargaming, for me, coming into this one, probably a little bit favoured. I mean, I know they had a pretty, maybe not quite as excellent performance as they usually do last week. Wargaming took them to the tiebreaker, but it does
First
seem
time
like
as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it does seem like I think EL should come into this one with a bit of an advantage.
Well, why don't we take a look at who EL is bringing to the table for today's clash. Of course, Guan Red, recently featured as our player of the week. And, well, Fox TS as well. Like, honestly, Gaming, we could feature every player at Gaming as our player of the week for our player profile. And it would be completely valid because they have a team of champions, Gaming do. No matter who's... no matter who's on the field, apart from, I think recently it's been nice, I believe, or quiet. Quiet, I think. That's had a few off days last week.
I don't know.
It was either nice or quiet. Last week really just struggled a little bit. But overall this week, I think they've had a little blip, and it's back to like standard EL.
Alrighty, well, we'll see what their opponents are going to bring to this one. It is, of course, Horsemen, who are going to be facing off against EL here. Sitting in number 8, so currently not doing so hot, although we shall see whether their fortunes are going to change throughout this week.
Yes, well, I mean, honestly, coming into the start of this season, I would have never expected that by the end of Phase 1, the Horsemen would have been at position 8. Like, certainly not. They've really faltered a little bit. I would love to see them come back to their, top tier Horseman form. They've won plenty of, they've won against plenty of great teams here in the APAC region before, and it would just be a shame to, to see them sit there down on 8th. But again, against Gaming this time, it's not going to be easy for them to really hold a candle up to them with the way that they've been playing. Maybe this week they'll have really, improved quite a bit potentially, and might have something new to bring to the table against Gaming. And now that their spot is safe, of course, but who knows?
All right, well, let's get underway with our first map. It is going to be Mines coming out here, and Mines to me is a little bit of a shaky map for EL, but they've actually picked it. So perhaps they feel otherwise.
Well, Gaming going with some fairly stock standard tank picks here on Mines. Going to be going with 2 of those Chinese heavies, that 113, a couple of Bat Chats, a couple of TVPs, and a T49 Horseman, though, going with something fairly similar but with no TVPs, essentially. And it's going to be interesting because if we see a hill rush, then I would definitely favour Gaming to take that one out. And it's not out of the question here between these two guys to see a hill rush with these lineups. But overall, I think, we came into this one, we were thinking that Gaming should actually veto out Mines. Why do you know?
It just seems like the only map where they really, at times, can struggle on. Like, the rest of the map pool is pretty good, but Mines, we've seen them have a couple of shaky performances. So, I mean, that was sort of the reasoning behind that, but maybe coming into this one, they've worked out something from last week, and we'll see what happens, but it is going to be Horsemen and EL. Unsurprisingly, I'd say, heading up towards that cliff, and you can see EL, they're boosting up here around the back of the well, through the back of the mine, really, and they're going to catch off maybe a couple of these Horsemen players, but Sunmi and Guan Ren
Oh
are
no,
going to be
Sunmi
the focus.
just got ammo wrecked before he could reload. That's
Ooh,
huge.
That's massive. I didn't even realize that, but now, of course, they're going to back out of there. And, well, we expected to see a very early brawl, but wasn't quite there in the end. And Sunmi has come off the reload now.
Okay, so Sunmi should be getting back up there fairly soon. As EL just trading it out in the center here. Fox TS and Nice just with their turrets set up on towards that hill. But nothing quite super explosive just yet. As it's looking like both teams are just going to be trading it out. All concentrated on this hill right here. And Guan Ren in that bat shot. He's just kind of deciding he's probably not going to be pushing up to that hill until those 113s and the rest of those tanks kind of help support him there, as Sunmi's just taken a nice shot from Archon.
Yeah. Horseman actually doing a reasonable job of this one. You can see EO Gaming starting to bleed a little bit of HP. Guan Ren, what's he doing? Just charging straight in there. What was that?
Guan Ren just gifting the Horseman a free kill.
What was that?
That is not good. They're trying to finish off Faluso right here, but overall the Horsemen definitely have the upper hand in this battle. EL Gaming dropping tanks like flies. Horsemen still with 6 tanks remaining. EL only with 4. Make that 3 as the Horsemen are trampling over them.
I am perplexed.
Yeah.
I am perplexed as to why Guan Ren would do that.
Yeah.
Someone with a greater mind than me, please. Please enlighten me as to what that was.
I mean, you got to think, was it for a bait or something like that? You know, did he want to...
Did his, like, R key get stuck and, like, he pressed it 3 times and he just couldn't stop it?
That's honestly what it looked like. Because there wasn't even anyone, like, really
He didn't even fire
lower.
off a shot.
Yeah. It wasn't even... It was a bad shot. It's not like he's going over there in a T-49, you know, a disposable Tier 8 light tank.
Colour me surprised. Well, Horsemen pick up the first victory there on mines, and EL Gaming, once again, faltering on mines.
Yeah, exactly. We said EL Gaming should ban out mines. It's not one of their stronger maps. You know, they got absolutely decimated by B Gaming on it last week. And we're seeing why. I think, again, they're just not confident on it. It's as simple as that.
I mean, it's a little bit unlucky for Sunmi there not to get the reload off initially.
That was quite unlucky. That was a little bit of, you know, I suppose RNG that didn't play into Sunmi's favour. But overall, I think that even if they had got the 2 bat chats up there, you know, that wouldn't have necessarily completely turned the tide. It would have maybe made for a closer brawl slightly, but...
all right, well,
yeah.
Let's see. Maybe on the replay we'll spot why Guan Ren decided to drive right in there, but there's not even any low
Faluso's not
tanks.
even low. Yeah, exactly. I thought, oh, maybe Faluso's low there. Like, he just... I don't know. Yeah, I'm really confused at that.
Maybe he thought the rest of his team was going to back him up, but... Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he didn't think that Gorilla and Spencer were going to be able to get...
Were all the Horsemen spotted? I'm sure they were.
I think maybe a couple of the Horsemen on the hill, Gorilla and Spencer, maybe those 2 weren't spotted at that very moment. But they would have known, you know, basically where they were. So still, it's you know...
I don't know what to make of that, to be honest.
Yes.
I really don't.
Oh, well. EL Gaming, hopefully they can kind of do a little bit better on the attacking side. I think they are probably going to be trying to do the same sort of thing. Again, that sort of a push that they try to do can definitely work when you've got all of those auto-loaders, the TVPs, the 113s. But
all right, well, before we get into the second half of mines, let's have a look first at the statistics for that one. Who did the damage? And Archon in his 113, pretty reasonable.
Yeah, Archon there, dealing 3.4 thousand damage with 11 shots dealt. None Desu in the bat chat, 2.3k. Overall, some pretty good numbers there by the Horsemen and EL Gaming. I mean, Fox TS did a little bit in that TVP.
Wow,
Both
Guan
of the
Ren,
TVPs, but
0 damage dealt.
I could have driven.
Who would have thought?
I could have been Guan Ren in that
Yeah,
one.
but you don't speak Chinese, so you couldn't. I couldn't be on EL
I
Gaming.
can ping on the map. That's all you need to do.
I can say
I can
ni
press
hao.
I can press the R key. That's all Guan Ren did.
R or W.
R or
depending on
W.
Which one
Exactly.
he wants to use.
Exactly. But
I'm an R-man myself.
You're an R man.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
like holding down the button all that much.
Alrighty. So one apiece. Not one apiece, 1-0 to Horsemen at the moment. EL Gaming are going to be trying to make it one apiece.
Could be one apiece. Could be. Moving over to the defensive side of Mines there for Horsemen. I mean, they're not really a super defensive sort of a lineup, so I would expect we're probably going to just be seeing another hill brawl this time again. But let's go ahead and have a look and see what our tank lineups are going to be. Maybe that'll give us an insight as to what we'll see throughout this matchup.
Alrighty, so tank picks. What have we got here? EL Gaming on the attack. I'm going to be going with the T49, as well as those 3 Bat Chats, TVP, and the 2 113s. Horsemen are going to be going with the 3 113s, TVP, and the 3 Bat Chats as well on their side. And again, look, this is Mines. It's a map where, you know, mobility definitely gets rewarded. Getting to the middle of the map, getting towards that hill first, you know, works really well, right? So that's why these teams often pick these faster sort of tanks. You know, the 113 technically is a Chinese heavy, yeah, but it plays like a medium. So it's definitely a good pick here on Mines. Let's see where they head out to with it.
EL looks like they're heading down towards that 2 cap, which is something we saw them do against B Gaming as well, actually. And, well, that didn't turn out too well. But B Gaming definitely had a bit of a different defensive setup here than Horsemen did. And I'd say they had a bit of a different play style heading into it too. As Horsemen have predictably rushed straight into the hill. But EL Gaming have gone to the 2 cap.
Yep. There's something like EL Gaming here on the 2 cap. I'm going to be starting the cap happening there. The Horsemen do have full control of the hill, but EL Gaming, this is actually good positioning. Guan Red's managed to get himself right down towards that K1 area. So really restricting the Horsemen's movement around their side of the map, around their spawn and the hill, by having that that Bat Chat down there, that tier 10 Bat Chat. At the moment, though, Nundes is just getting a little bit punished in that TVP. We've already seen Spencer in his Bat Chat has the damage ammo rack this time, so it's Horsemen that start off on the back foot instead of EL.
Yeah, and EL as well, getting a bit of pressure across from this cap. It shouldn't be a particularly difficult reset for the Horsemen, but the trouble is always when you're trying to get a reset on that 2 cap is how do you do it without taking a lot of damage in doing so?
Yeah, well, look, you can sit someone around K4 to try and get the reset happening and hide in those rocks around K4. Obviously, if you're the Horsemen, you don't really have the opportunity to push a 113 back to that area because EL Gaming, they've got full control of this coast here. They've got Quiet on the coast, they've got Guan Ren on the coast, Fox TS can contribute some shots as well. So any rotates that the Horsemen do, they are going to have to do very, very carefully. And the only other option that the Horsemen have, which they won't be wanting to take, is literally just for someone like DHXD to push over the hill here, push over the side and just make himself vulnerable, but get the reset.
Well, there's 18 seconds, so they are going to have to try and get that reset. DHXD, oh he's committed a little bit too much to this one now, and probably you have to say doesn't have much longer left to live here. And well, Black bounces a shot off him, but eventually we are going to start to see some of those shots from EL Gaming ringing across onto DHXD, and he's actually done a fairly decent job of surviving so far. I'd have to say he'll get another shot into Black, so yeah, maybe not so bad. Yes, he's going to trade out, but he got a bit of damage across to Black, to be honest.
Yeah, can't complain about that if you're the Horseman right there. But in the meantime, what's been happening? Let's see. We've got EL Gaming, a couple of their members on below half HP right there as Flags just fighting it out with Archon. We've got Spencer still sitting up on the hill. Gorilla and Faluso maybe pushing down soon on towards that 2 cap. But the important thing for Horsemen right now is that they have managed to reset the cap.
They definitely have. So the pressure not quite so heavy on their shoulders here, but still they have 2 tanks disadvantage. EL looking strong in this attacking side. Horsemen, at the moment, just holding back. Playing the long game, it seems.
It's looking like it, and well, the long game's not going to work out for Archon because Flag should be able to take him out right there. There we go. As Spence was trying to get a few shots across, but Horsemen only with 4 tanks remaining. The issue for them is they haven't managed to get any EL Gaming tanks off the field. All of EL is still alive, still standing. So all that EL need to really do now is just clamp down on the remaining members of Horsemen. They're all around this side. Oh, finally a kill.
Yeah, good shot from Gorilla. And Nice also taking a fair chunk of damage, but now Gorilla's been tracked, and he takes an extra shot as well. So it seems like a slow and steady win is going to be on the cards here for EL Gaming. They definitely are very much in control of this one. Unless they make a big mistake, it should be going to a 1-1.
Yeah, it's looking like that at the moment, as we are going to be seeing EL Gaming just pushing around the place. They should be able to take out Spencer right here. Spencer trying to make something work, but Sunmi helps his mate Flag to take him out. And Gorilla there has just reloaded in his bat chat, but it's not going to be enough to do anything. Now only Hawks and Faluso left. Should be a fairly simple matter for EL Gaming to clean up. And the Horsemen right there, I mean, look, they just succumbed to the EL Gaming pressure. Like, EL set up perfectly on towards that 2 flag, and Horsemen at the end of the day just couldn't find a way to get the resets. They didn't have those tanks down at that K4 area that they needed to have.
Yep.
You know, maybe something like a grill down there. Even an RU-251 would have done, you know, but they didn't have those tanks down there. They couldn't get the resets. So at the end of the day, they had to do that really risky push, and EL were able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, a really comfortable win in the end there for EL Gaming. Looked very good on their attacking side of Mines. And so at the end of Mines, 1-1. I think Horsemen are probably just going to be pretty pleased with that to get a 1-1.
Yeah.
EL, similarly, I think they'll be like, yeah, whatever, 1-1.
Yep.
Both teams are going to be quite content with how that one turned out. So really, might as well be back at 0-0. But let's have a look first, though, at our replays before we get underway with our next map.
Yeah, okay, so this was where DHXD pushed down in towards Black, and he did hit that first shot, which was quite a good thing. And interestingly enough, EL Gaming weren't really focusing on him right here. They were more focused on Faluso, who's poking just out there, and Nundesu as well. Nundesu took a lot of damage in his TVP, and they actually managed to get him off before he could even fire 4 shots, which is excellent focus fire and excellent prioritization, right, by EL Gaming to get that TVP down first.
Yeah, and I mean, really, it just like there wasn't anything coming out from Horsemen. Like they just seemed like they were content to just try and keep getting those resets. But really, at the end of the day, EL had that HP advantage. They had everything. They had the tank advantage. So Horsemen probably had to actually do something there just to try and swing things back in their favor. But they weren't able to do that. So wasn't particularly great for them in the end. Flag, Sunmi, and Fox TS were finding themselves up the top of the damage charts.
Yeah, there we go. So Flag, Sunmi, and Fox TS going to be pretty happy with themselves up there. Faluso, the captain of the Horsemen, coming in at 4th there with 2.2 thousand damage. And, well, quiet with 2K as well. Can't be too disappointed with himself. But overall, look, Mines, I mean, you're right. EL Gaming aren't going to be too disappointed that they walked away with 1-1. And in a similar token, Horsemen have got to be pretty happy that they actually have beat EL Gaming and have started off this best of 9 series quite well.
Yeah.
I guess. You know, so moving on towards steps, which from memory, Horsemen don't mind.
No, they don't mind it.
Yeah.
It's one of their better maps, actually. And it's, I mean, in theory, it's one of EL's worst maps. However, both teams haven't actually lost on the attacking side of steps so far. So that's a interesting sort of something to think about.
Well, one of them is going to lose, aren't they?
One of them is.
So,
well, unless they both win
unless
attack
they both
side.
win attack.
So
in which
maybe
case,
one of them isn't going to lose.
Yeah.
Both of them aren't going to lose.
Here we go. I think one of them is going to lose. Because I think on steps here, EL Gaming are going to take it 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I reckon.
Wouldn't be too far out of left field, I think, to say that. I'll probably go 1-1 just because that's what the stats say.
By the way, what's your overall prediction for this series?
5-1 to Horsemen.
Righty, I'm going to go with 5-1 as well.
That's cheating. He's got it written down here, 5-0.
No, I don't.
Just for those of you who want to believe Alex.
He's wrong.
I will take a picture of this and tweet it later.
What are you going to tweet it with the hashtag?
Hashtag WGL APAC.
There we go. Bam. Love it. But overall, I think we should probably take a look at or think about what tanks these guys will be picking here on steps. And it will be the Grill on EL Gaming side. I love that. Grill, Bat Chats, and Amix 1390. I mean, just beautiful lineup. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Lots of autoloaders, bit of long-range damage into Scout / Cap Tank. On the Horseman side, on the defense, RU-251, great tank on the defense there on steps. Great little tier 8 fast light tank of the German variety. And they've got some fast stuff as well. And I like taking the 113 as your heavy on steps as opposed to the T110E5 because I don't like the T110E5 because it has got very bad frontal armor and it has got not the best DPM. But here we go, steps. So, I'm thinking EL. You thinking EL? I think we're about to find out.
Well, I think EL should win this one, given that they are on the attack.
Yep.
Horsemen not so great on the defense. 2 wins and 4 losses on the defense, in fact. So it's not a great statistic there for the Horsemen. This is a bit of a strange setup from EL, actually. Nice and black, heading towards that 1 flag just to scout, perhaps, and the rest of EL making their way over to the 2 flag.
Right. Okay, so we've also got Fox TS kind of sitting at the back there, which is quite interesting, in his Grill 15. Griller. But it looks like he will actually be moving there, which, yeah, I like this. So it's looking like it is going to be a fast push on towards the 2 flag here for EL Gaming. I think that should work out quite well. Fox TS going to be sitting right at the back and just peppering the Horsemen with 750 damage shots on that Grill's big cannon. Of course, the Grill with the most accurate gun in the game. And I think Fox TS might need it.
This is exactly what we saw EL Gaming do against B Gaming last week, and they capped it out without getting reset at all. And Horsemen are set up in a fairly similar sort of situation to what B Gaming were, though I think they should be able to get back over and reset that maybe a little bit quicker. They've only got 20 seconds left to work with here, Alex, and to be honest, they need to get a bit of a wriggle on because certainly they have started to slow down.
13,
there's only 12 seconds left to go here, Horsemen. You cannot stop. 8 seconds left on that clock. Are they even going to get there in time? Spencer's making his way forward. He gets absolutely demolished. And now Horsemen under a lot of pressure. Archon needs to get that. And finally, just in the nick of time, they do manage to get that reset. But it does feel like... And under what cost? Exactly. It does feel like they might have sacrificed a little bit so much HP. And, well, you can see Nundesu very low, Gorilla very low. 3 tanks from Horsemen already down for the 1 of EL Gaming. This is looking like EL Gaming should be able to pick it up, though we are going to see the reloads coming out from the majority of the tanks. Not the Grill, though. He's going to be able to pick up a kill. The Object 140s, this is where they will start to shine.
Yeah. This is where they will start to pump out quite a bit of damage, but unfortunately for Luso, I don't think he's actually going to be able to get the reload off before flag does. Colin, though, is going to be coming in.
Oh, Colin. Yeah, flag might go down here, but really I don't think EL Gaming will be too bothered by that. He's actually going to get out of there okay. And Fox TS, look at how aggressive he's playing with this Grill. He doesn't care at all. There you go. Did he miss that?
Yeah, I think it might have been a miss, and it might have been just a hit from one of those bat chats that damaged Falusa there. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter too much because Colin, as he goes down, it's going to mean EL Gaming take out the attack there on steps.
Yep.
So, as expected, nothing too crazy there.
Now 6-0 on steps attack.
6-0.
No, actually, sorry, 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
Does that mean 5-0 now?
No, they're 4-0 now.
That's counting.
Horsemen are 5-0 currently.
Right.
On attack.
So Horsemen should win this next one.
Well, statistically, yes. But we know the stats aren't always right.
We do know that. But I think, overall, just harking back to what won EL Gaming that one there, like, the Horsemen just weren't... they were just in a bad position. Wrong place, wrong time, I think is the easiest way to put it. They were all pushed up towards the rail tracks. EL Gaming just picked the perfect moment to go on towards that 2 flag. And just at the moment when the Horsemen were as far away from them as possible, then to come back and get the cap reset, Horsemen had to put themselves out of position.
Definitely wasn't great from the Horsemen. They had to really put themselves in some difficult position to get that reset, as you mentioned. And here it is. I mean, they did slow things down a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really much more that they could have done. They got the reset in time, so I guess that's what matters. But really. Like, what do you do in that situation? That you can't really do anything apart from just charge into that cap.
Well, that's sort of the issue. You see, I would have really liked to have seen the Horsemen actually do a boost. That's the sort of situations where exactly when if you can get a boost up with an RU-251, then you could spot the cap. You can literally single-handedly win your team the game.
Yeah, that is right, but obviously wasn't the case there for Horsemen, and Black and Fox TS took advantage of that, put themselves right up the top of those damage charts. Looked quite good.
Yeah,
so once again leading the charge for the Horsemen, but
yeah,
just not able to get it done.
Literally the only horseman,
yeah,
the only horse in the top 7 there in terms of damage, which is not really a brilliant stat there if you're one of the Horsemen. The Gorilla there, 1.5k, and down the bottom, Hawks only got a couple of shots off in that bat chat. He just got exploded as he came over that ridge line by EL Gaming. As look, they got the reset in the end, yeah, sure, but it was just too late, and they put themselves into a very compromising position to try and get it overall.
All right, well, that's the first half gone there for Steps. EL picked it up and now put themselves at 2-1. After the first 3 rounds. And yeah, now Horsemen are going to be moving over to their favoured side on Steps, which is, of course, going to be attack. EL Gaming also similarly moving over to their less than favourable side, which is defence. So I can see Horsemen potentially picking up a victory here. They haven't lost yet on the attacking side. It'll be tough against EL Gaming, of course, but entirely doable.
Entirely doable. Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, Horsemen, if they got, honestly, EL Gaming, we saw them last week, they weren't ready when B Gaming pushed on towards the 2-cap and did a fast 2-cap strategy. So if the Horsemen do the exact same thing, which they have done before, I used to call it like a Horseman rush, where you just get all of your tanks on towards the 2-cap, then absolutely,
All right, well, let's have a look and see whether or not this is going to be the case once again. The tank lineups are in, and EL Gaming are going to be going for an artillery.
Okay. Yeah, we're going for that Lorraine 155-51, that Tier 8 French artillery piece, of course, or SPG, whatever you want to call it. And Horsemen not going for anything too strange there. They've got, again, a fairly similar sort of lineup with those Object 140s in as well. And I like the Object 140s, just not when you have to commit to an all-out brawl. In that case, you'd probably want the bat chats instead. But overall, let's see where they head out to.
Let us see indeed. EL Gaming going for a similar setup to last week, but this time they've got Nice holding quite far forward towards that 2-cap. Maybe just to spot out in case anyone's heading in that direction, and he does so well. You can see Spencer and Gorilla have been spotted out there by the Horsemen, by EL Gaming, and Nice in particular, obviously. So EL going to be a little bit more ready to perhaps react to a 2-flag push.
Yeah, so right now we've got Fox TS for EL Gaming setting up in that Lorraine. He's almost reloaded, almost got the first reload off, I think. So he should be able to get some maybe shots down towards Colin right there. Oh, he did. He does actually. Spencer takes 502 damage, and I think that must have just been from when Spencer was initially spotted. Fox TS just kind of remembered where he was. So a great little bit of play there, but it's looking like Horsemen, they're not too content to let Artie, to sit around and let Artie rain down upon them. So they're going to be moving towards the 2-cap.
Yeah, and well, EL Gaming this time have rotated across quite a little bit earlier and put themselves in a good spot to stop that 2-flag push. Horsemen, in fact, have not even actually opted to make their way onto the 2-flag. So EL Gaming, they might just want to slow things down now a little bit and see if they can get that artillery to get a couple more shots across. Fox TS will be coming off the reload. He knows exactly where Colin is, maybe aiming for him. Let's have a look and see. Where is that bullet? Yeah.
Oh, just misses it.
Just misses him.
Just misses him. But Colin overall isn't going to be too unhappy about that. It could be sitting on the cap instead. And look, EL Gaming are perfectly happy to play this sort of slower game because, again, they have that artillery piece. They can get the cap resets a lot easier than, than the Horsemen can stay on the cap effectively. So EL should be fine just to keep this up at the moment. They've lost a little bit of health on Sun Mi, but the only semi-danger for them is that that artillery piece is vulnerable to a flank from the rail line at the moment, but there's no one from the Horsemen on the rail line just yet, so it is effectively safe.
Yeah, letting this clock run down a little bit before they decide to go in, and it's fairly similar to some previous situations that we've seen them in even. But they are making their way forward just a little bit earlier this time, not perhaps relying on the artillery to get a lucky reset. Oh, nice. It's going to take a little bit of damage there, and I mean, didn't do a huge amount in return. I think Colin's just taken a shot from the artillery here as well, so a reset coming across, and now he's starting to take a lot of shots from everyone else on EL Gaming. He will be the first to go down here as well. Nice is very low on 75 HP, but should be able to survive in that position that he's in. EL Gaming definitely looking control of this one.
There we go, EL Gaming just starting to take down the Horsemen one by one, but the Horsemen are fighting back. I think we can see Spencer is going to be coming in towards the fight right now as well. EL Gaming, they're not prioritising the targets like they always do, but Gorilla looks to be the next one called. He's on the reload though and might manage to get away for the moment. No, Flag taking him down. Quiet
is in a bit of trouble here. Spencer should come around and pick him up, but in response, Flag should be able to take down Fuluso, and we'll see what happens. There you go. It's a 1-for-1 trade in that little passage of play. Spencer, though, is able to find another. Now it's a 4v3. Flag going to put the shot into the AMX 140. Nundesu doesn't manage to return one actually over to Flag. And the only situation I can see coming out of this is an EL Gaming win.
It's looking like that as Nundesu narrowly avoids a shell from that Lorraine. And he will be the last man standing for the Horsemen. Last tank standing, and there we go, goes down. So EL Gaming 2-0 the Horsemen on steps.
That means now they are 3-1 up, and a very good performance there on steps.
Yeah,
wasn't really a situation where it looked like they were going to lose at all. So just across the board, very in control.
Yeah, look, I think Horsemen made a mistake there early on by not actually pushing on towards the flag with many of their tanks, because what that let EL Gaming do, right, is it let EL Gaming kind of just take their time, so actually formulate a plan on how to retake the flag, and then they could push into it super calm. You know, they weren't under any pressure to get cap resets. They weren't under any pressure to put their tanks in compromising positions. They just went one by one down the ridge line, kind of around the flag, and just poked up when they could and took the rest of the Horsemen out. So overall, maybe a little, if the Horsemen had gotten towards the flag earlier, started the cap pressure earlier, and forced EL Gaming to really rush towards the flag, then we might have seen some EL mistakes. But as it was, EL just clinical bit of play and, well, helped them get the win.
Yeah, I think EL had a spotter down there towards the 2 flag as well, though, so they kind of knew what was going on pretty early on. And yeah, I mean, pretty much just a comfortable win there on steps for EL. Spencer did make things a little bit worrisome in this little passage of play as he picked up both Quiet and Nice, but really, in the end, Horsemen just not quite there.
No, not quite there at all as EL Gaming right there. We saw Sun Mi getting a few shots on towards Spencer, and it's just kind of cleaning him up right at the end. But I mean, Horsemen here, look, that is actually their first loss on steps attack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't actually look super close.
No.
So that's a little bit strange, but let's see how much damage the Horsemen dealt. It was actually Nundesu in that object, 143.8 thousand damage. So he's trying to carry his team. He gave it a good crack, but Fox TS, look at that, in that Lorraine, dealing 1,800 damage.
Yeah, pretty good result for EL Gaming across the board. The Lorraine doing 1,800, very nice. We saw him get a couple of early shots across to a few of the tanks that Horsemen were running there. And Fuluso, uncharacteristically, down there towards the bottom for the Horsemen.
Yeah. No, those Horsemen damage numbers are not great. 420 for the 113, sub 1,000 for the Object 140. And, well, EL Gaming definitely going to be happy after that performance, but they've still got a couple more to win, Jordan.
They definitely do.
Horsemen aren't going to be making it easy for them. 3-1 at the moment.
That is correct, and our third map for this series is Ruinberg.
Ruinberg.
Yeah, so it's a very good map for EL, surprisingly enough. They have an 80% win rate on it. I think they've only dropped 1 round so far. For the Horsemen, not really such a strong map.
No, not at all, I think. And, well, Ruinberg, it's a little bit divisive. You know, some teams really like playing the Ruinberg attack. Some teams really like playing the Ruinberg defense. You know, it's very much up in the air, but EL Gaming, they're one of the few teams, I guess, in the league that feels comfortable on all sides of Ruinberg.
Yeah, well, that's right. Let's have a look and see how they're going to do here on Ruinberg. We're about to get underway, and well, it's a pretty standard setup across the board.
Well, we've got a bat chat, so I think...
Is that a Lorraine?
Could be a Lorraine. Could be a Lorraine. Yeah, but either way, Horsemen are looking like they are going to be taking an artillery piece. They've got that Grill 15 as well. So, locking in that one. The 215Bs, it feels like it's been a while since we seen the 215Bs. Did we see
I haven't seen it this week.
Yeah,
we saw it last week, yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't seen it this week, so interesting. But here we go, Ruinberg. Not really the best map for artillery, but...
No, it's interesting. I mean, it's not a bad map. Maybe it's just a normal bat chat, but anyway, it's actually a pretty decent map for Horsemen on the defense. They've got a 3-1. It is the Lorraine. Okay.
Right.
And it's actually on the Horsemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So,
it's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. I not sure if I would have picked that, but yeah, well, we'll see how it works out for Falusa. I'm trying to remember. I don't recall Falusa ever having played artillery before in any broadcast matches this season.
Not that I can remember either. I'm also struggling to remember if we've ever seen a artillery on Ruinberg, and I don't believe we have.
We've seen a lot of things on Ruinberg. We've seen Mouses on Ruinberg. We've seen FV215B 183s on Ruinberg. We've seen FV4005s on Ruinberg. We've seen an OHO on Ruinberg. But I honestly do not think we've seen an artillery piece on here yet. But, I mean, look, EL Gaming, if standard stuff isn't working against them, then sure, why not? Why not try something, you know, that you think might work?
Well, knowing EL Gaming, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just charge right into the city here. And Quiet is going to make his way forward. Has spotted out Gorilla there, who coincidentally takes a lot of damage. And it's a decent trade there for EL Gaming. But now they have suffered a little bit in response. Was that an artillery shot that landed in towards them? I don't think it could have from that angle. Maybe.
Yeah. Look, the thing that I'm not really sure about here is why pick the artillery if you're not going to push the 2 flag with it? Because, like, here, I'm just looking at the shots that they might be able to get. There's nothing really kind of standing out to me as possible or, like, fantastic artillery positions that Falusa can get towards.
No.
You know, it's like if you go for the 2 flag, at least, you know, you're going to have to have some tanks poking down those 8 lines or down those 9 lines towards the actual cap itself. And you can sit yourself back at, I mean, even like K1 if you want to be really defensive, or like K5 or so. But who knows? Maybe Falusa will find something that we cannot see. But at the moment, the Horsemen are not in much of a rush to get anywhere from the seams of things, the looks of things. Oh.
Yeah, perhaps they know that EL Gaming tends to push aggressively, so just trying to bait them into the town here, into a crossfire. They do have, you know, the Grill 15 as well, so it's not too surprising to see them playing quite slowly, given the tank setup that they do have.
Right, so Falusa here is going to be repositioning, and actually that might be a little bit of a better idea for him, aiming towards, I think, Sunme, Black and Flag. And Quiet's actually spotted as well, so is that going to hit anything? No. But the issue is, of course, for artillery here on Ruinberg is that there's so many of these buildings, you know, particularly on the left half of the map, the western half, that, you know, even for Lorraine, it's not easy to get around them. You know?
No, definitely not. which is obviously why it's so perplexing to see an artillery here on Nuremberg. But EL Gaming are playing around it quite nicely. Well, they have lost a little bit more HP than they probably would like.
Yeah, they're not looking too healthy, actually. Look, if we look in terms of the health, EL Gaming are on about 11,000 at the moment. Horsemen about 11,750. So they've got a slight tiny health advantage. Nothing, nothing to write home about, but they have got it. Although for the Horsemen, I think pressure is going to be on them to push up, and Colin, he's actually going to be trying to find quiet there. That's a good little push there from Colin. But he misses the shot in the IS-7. Really couldn't afford to miss that one.
No, but he hasn't really been punished for it, so he can go for another peek here. He might take another shot from quiet, but really he's not going to be too bothered by that. And there you go, pops the shot in, 490, and well, there's not much that quiet can actually do here. He needs the backup of his teammates.
Oh, he dodges right back in. Sneaky Mr. Quiet. Although I don't think EL Gaming are lending Quiet a lifeline right here.
No, it certainly seems not. Should be the killing blow, but another one goes in without actually landing the shot, and this will allow Quiet to get another couple of shots across in quick succession. He should get 3.
Yeah.
There you go. Colin's
It's
taking
two
a
of
lot of
them.
damage.
You see, this is taking way too much. Colin, it should have been. He literally should have driven up, got maybe 1 or 2 shots in towards Quiet, and that should have been it. Finally, he takes him down, but at the cost of most of his tank. He's only on 135 health left. So
yeah, the HP swing from that has actually turned the HP advantage back into EL's favour.
Yeah, and oh, well, look at this. EL Gaming, they're getting a little bit tired of waiting for the Horsemen to push through that city, and they're going to take the fight to them from the looks of things.
Well, this might have been what Horsemen were waiting for. We'll have to see how it works out. EL Gaming, as you mentioned, are making their way in. They need to take down Colin here straight away, and it should be Guanren to find the kill. In the end, it's actually Fox TS, but Guanren is going to take a shot from Nundesu in the Grill 15, so now he's very low on HP. But yet we'll continue forward. EL Gaming not too keen to give up on this push just yet. Hawks is going to be able to take down Guanren, and now things starting to look a little dangerous for EL Gaming. They might have been baited into this trap. Nundesu is going to get a shot across to Fox TS, but well, that's not going to make him any more happy, as Fox TS is going to take him down.
Hawks and Spencer from behind.
Yeah, we find ourselves in a 4v4, and as you mentioned, Hawks and Spencer still driving around the back there. Archon in the FV215B is now the focus of the EL Gaming guys. Should be going down relatively shortly, but look at the HP pool. Horsemen still doing pretty well for themselves. Fox TS is a one-shot. And then we've got a couple other guys, Spencer and Fuluso, obviously full HP, but I mean, Fuluso, you can't really factor into this sort of a situation. Hawks has taken a tiny bit of damage, but he still has a decent amount of HP pool to play with as well.
Yeah, it's looking like it at the moment. As Horseman, the only issue is in this situation, when you've got a town fight, that Artie, the Lorraine, is barely going to be doing anything, because there's no way you can hit those EL Gaming tanks when they're like hugged up to that side of the building. No way at all. So effectively, yes, Horsemen have got 3 tanks left, but effectively it's a 2-on.
Yeah,
it's a 2-on-4.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-on-4 is not unwinnable here for the Horsemen. I mean, Nice is very low, Fox TS is very low, and then Black and Flag are also, not the healthiest. You can see Fuluso as well is starting to rotate his position now. It looks like the Horsemen are going to try and bait a push onto this 2-cap. And in this sort of a situation, now Fuluso becomes useful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very true. If they can get some spots on towards EL Gaming as they move towards the 2-cap, then yeah, Fuluso could potentially get some good shots across. But the issue for Fuluso at the moment is he is actually moving. And now, EL Gaming...
Is Fuluso going to join Hawks on the flag, maybe?
Ah, that's an interesting theory. It looks like maybe, yeah.
Because obviously EL's going to know that there's a couple on there. Actually, no, he's going to replace Hawks on the flag. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, an Artie that I don't think has done too much finally gets relegated to the flag. So
it's just like having a tier 8 scout tank, mate.
Yeah, tier 8 scout tank that dies in one shot.
Yeah, well, let's just pretend he was really low from the start.
Don't think that's how it works, Jordan. But right now, EL Gaming, they know how it works, and they are going to be pushing on towards this 2 flag fairly soon. The issue for the Horsemen is that EL only need 1 reset. So Spencer, gets a good shot.
Yeah, Black is going to go down. Flag has been spotted as well, and yes, they only need that one reset, but getting a one reset is going to be so hard when they have really... Flag is the only one that can take 2 shots here. Nice is going to take 1 there. I mean, he could get shot up by that artillery as well.
Oh, nice. Has to reload now. Oh no. And that's going to be a bit of trouble there. But Spencer still on 1800 HP. EL Gaming, they need 1 reset. That is all they need, and they should be able to take this one out. But the Horsemen really taking it down to the wire.
Yeah, they definitely are. I feel it's going to be down to Flag, but he's probably not even going to be able to get in there without taking 2 shots. Like, I don't think
Spencer, look, Spencer's only got 1 shot.
Flag's trying to draw the reset across.
He needs to go. He needs to go right now. He can't wait.
I don't think they're going to get there in time. Unless Flag's got an angle here. And even then, I don't think he's got it. Nope. No. That's going to be a free cap from the Horseman there. So, well, who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
It's Horsemen picking up their 2nd win on Ruinberg Attack
3-2
season.
Well, there you go. Winning on Ruinberg Attack against EL Gaming. I definitely wasn't expecting that one.
No, especially not with the artillery.
With an artillery piece as well. How do Horsemen win against EL Gaming with a Lorraine on Ruinberg? I don't understand it.
EL kind of got baited into the fight there in the city, which is obviously what Horsemen really wanted.
That's true.
So,
yeah. Well, it was an excellent little trap then, I suppose. So I suppose we have been saying that the Horsemen have recently been trying to set up more of those trap style scenarios, knowing that teams will push. And, previously, while it hasn't worked, it was actually a really good move then because they were perfectly ready for the Horsemen in the city and were able to, easily brawl it out with the FV215Bs, with all of their tanks kind of set up on those streets ready for EL. So well played to the Horsemen.
Yeah, if there was one round of Ruinberg there that I felt sure was going to go the way of EL Gaming, it was that one.
Yeah.
They haven't lost on their defense before that, and Horsemen have got only 1 win on the attacking side of Ruinberg. So a little bit confusing to see that coming out like that. But heading over to the second half, I mean, the defensive side of Ruinberg's not actually that bad for Horsemen, and the attacking side's not great for EL. So potential here maybe for a 2-0.
Potential? Wow. Well, I don't know. That'd be very interesting if
we
saw a 2-0 from the Horsemen on towards EL Gaming on Ruinberg.
All right, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. First, let's have a look at the replays for that one. And, well, this could have been...
This was an issue as well. Like, literally, what could have happened, option A, in an ideal world, Colin would have driven up, and he would have got just 1 shot, the first shot on towards Quiet. It would have hit Quiet. It would have instantly blown up his tank, right? Instead, what happened, we saw Colin drive up. He missed his first shot. He missed his second shot. His third shot didn't kill him. He missed his fourth shot. Finally hit again after that. But and that then later on made Colin too scared to get the reset. They only needed the reset. They only needed, I'm pretty sure, or maybe they would have needed 2 resets there, but still. Oh, well. Tricky for Horsemen.
Oh, well, let's have a look at the post-game stats and see who was doing the damage. The artillery in particular, I'm looking for, and it's not there.
Yeah, the artillery will be on the bottom, I bet.
Yeah.
But Nundesu in the grill really did work. 3,000 damage in that one. And nice in that Bat Chat AP, just about 3k damage. He got one more than Nundesu. So it's going to be sitting on top of the scoreboard in that case. And that... Actually, Lorraine got 1450.
I think it did get 1 onto one of the EL Gaming tanks right towards the end there, 1 shot.
Right.
Which would have been probably about another 300, 400 damage. So still, I mean, it would have done a bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely. But 1450 damage for Lorraine on Ruinberg. I mean, you can't complain, especially when you've got down the bottom Bat Chats there dealing 0.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. But 3-2, Horsemen making this a close one.
They definitely are. I'm a little surprised to see a result like that coming out, to be honest. But well, EL Gaming once again not having the perfect run that we're used to seeing from them.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, last week was the first week that EL Gaming actually had a game that didn't go to a 5-1 or a 5-0, right? So, this week again to go up against the Horsemen, who, to be quite frank with you, Jordan, have looked a little bit off peak recently. You know,
Well, the Horsemen are looking pretty good today.
Well, today, exactly. Exactly. Today they're looking amazing, you know, against EL Gaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe they have enough. Maybe they could be the first team to beat EL Gaming.
Maybe. I think it might be a little bit too early to call that one. Let's see how this goes first, though. Got our tank lineups for our next matchup.
Okay, so Horsemen going with those FV215Bs again and that IS-7. So, again, they're going to be looking for a bit of a city brawl. Not going to be going with the grill or the artillery piece on the defensive side here on Ruinberg. But EL Gaming, on the meantime, are going to be going for that Grill 15. And are going to be heading out. So EL, looks like their main target, what is it going to be? They're actually all completely spread out, so they don't have a main target just yet. Fox TS going to be getting himself all the way up here in this grill. And maybe looking out across the road. Should be able to get himself some nice, solid spots and some nice shots.
Hasn't been spotted out himself yet either. So EL playing a little bit more defensive than what we're usually used to seeing from them. At the moment, Horsemen just clumped up in towards that E sort of F township. And EL Gaming are getting their 113s forward in the pillboxes. No surprises there.
Yep, at the moment they're just clearing out some general debris around the place. We're seeing those EL Gaming 113s just fire some shells into those cars near them. So they can essentially not block any bullets, not block any shells that EL Gaming might need to fire in the future. So clearing out their land, if you will. The rest of EL, we do see a couple of them in the actual town itself, nice and quiet, and Guan Ren. Looks like Black might be moving out pretty soon, but there's no real definitive idea as to where EL Gaming are going to be pushing just yet. Could push 2 flag, could push 1 flag, could just go for a town attack. Their attacking side.
It is a little surprising to see EL Gaming playing this slowly. Not something we're particularly used to.
Yeah. You know, I think so. That's, I mean, EL Gaming right now, they are going to actually struggle. I'm really liking the Horsemen's defensive positions here because they've got a lot of tanks on towards that 1 flag. On the 2 flag, it's hard for Fox TS in that grill to push out, right? He's a grill. As soon as he gets spotted... Oh, my
what?
God! Oh,
No way!
Black!
Oh! No, he's okay! How did he flip that? Oh, my word. He's not happy at that mound either. He just fires a shot at it. Oh! Okay, well, that's woken me up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, the Blacks with EL Gaming.
Boy, oh, boy.
It looks like he's going to...
No, don't do it again. Whoa. He's okay.
He's okay. But it looks like EL are going to be pushing towards this 1 flag here. The Horsemen, they've got quite a few tanks in defense, and Black's going to be the first one spotted.
He is indeed, and he's going to be the first one shot as well, losing 552 hit points. But the rest of his teammates getting up there okay. So EL Gaming have basically achieved what they set out to do. And that was to get up this A-line without taking too much damage. Yeah, Black might go down here, but actually he's going to get quite far forward and won't take all that much damage. Now the focus in towards his teammates, and he will just be happy to sit here peppering shots into Nandesu and Hawks whenever he gets the opportunity. Oh, but he's moved too far back. He's taken a shot to his back as well. Here we go. Let's have a look and see how this one turns out. The EL Gaming guys, they're really taking a little bit more damage than they would have wanted, but they are able to take the first kill. That's Hawks going down. Focus fire always good from EL Gaming. Flag able to take the 113 to its perfection as the IS-7 going down. And now a 2-for-1, still favouring the EL Gaming guys, but they are getting rushed down and they're on the reload here as well. Guan Ren really needed to hit that shot. Nandesu.
Oh, another miss.
He's wasted a couple of shots there before going down. And now Gorilla's going to get 2 free shots onto Nice. Is he going to be able to clean him up? I think he might.
Oh, so close. Spencer does, though, and quiet. Well, the issue for him is he needs to be reloaded before Spencer takes him out. Needs to get some damage out, and he will get a bit. But how much, I'm not too sure. Tries for
he's
the
not gonna get
ram.
another shot. Oh, is he? No,
Oh,
he got
misses
another
it,
shot, but
yeah.
he was never going to hit that one. And now 3v4, EL Gaming still have the HP advantage. But a Grill 15 and two 113s, it doesn't give them too much maneuverability compared to the bat chats that Horsemen have. So still potential here for Horsemen to pick this one up.
Yeah, I think potential is the key word here, as Fox TS will be looking down towards Nandesu and Gorilla as they cross that line with their bat chats. He should be able to put a nice big shell in towards one of them. But Nandesu just poking out, and wow, Fox TS actually not even able to spot them in his grill, which is definitely suboptimal for EL Gaming's chances right now. 5 minutes left on the clock. Let's not forget EL Gaming on the attack.
He's going to run straight into two bat chats that are fully loaded, and he can probably one-shot Spencer, but not Nandesu. Gorilla as well, of course, not going to be a one-shot here. So Sunmi is going to start to take a bit of damage here. Do they know Fox TS is right behind him? No, they don't. So lucky they don't continue to push there. Gorilla's going to take a big shot here, but is he going to go down? Yes, he is. And Nandesu now trying to put the damage back into Fox TS, which he does manage to do. But really, it was a good trade for EL.
Yeah, excellent trade there for EL. But Sunmi, in the meantime, has had his ammo rack damaged. It's not going to worry Fox TS, though, as he takes out the bat chat. Horsemen now have one very healthy-looking FV215B and a bat chat that's essentially one shell from death. So it's not looking great for them. Although one thing which really should play into their hands is the fact that Sunmi's ammo rack is damaged. So that's going to mean that that 113 really is not going to be a massive damage threat in this next battle, wherever it occurs. But of course, Horsemen, all they have to do is defend right now. They've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, so time is in their favour as the defenders. You know, a couple of resets and they're looking golden. But EL Gaming need to get a base cap happening, or they need to find the remaining two members.
Well, EL are starting to sit on that base cap. They have 3 minutes to play with, so a decent amount of time to just sit around and try and get a cap going. Surprised not to see Flag sitting on the cap as well, but he's going to move forward into the town there and just offer a bit more protection for Sunmeet, who is sitting on the cap. It's going to be tough for Horsemen to win this one.
It's looking like it right now. So, Horsemen, do see Faluso just spamming a few shots, and the good news actually is that Flag has been spotted out, but he's not the one on the cap. So, first off, or rather, the Horsemen need to deal with Flag. With Spencer all the way back on towards that one flag, not too sure that's going to be easy for them.
No, definitely won't. Trying to get Spencer around the back here from the town. He's got 60 seconds to work with. I don't think he can get spotted out by Fox TS if he just goes through the very back line of that town.
Yeah.
And of course now not, as Fox TS has made his way more so into that 2 cap. But Spencer here, he's got a potential reset opportunity if he can come around behind, which is what it's looking like he's going to do here. There's a shot goes into Flag as well. There's only 15 seconds left to work with now that Fox TS has joined that cap circle as well. Fuluso, in fact, may have to make his way forward and try and get a reset here, because I don't know if Spencer will get there in time, but Fuluso will sacrifice a lot of his HP.
Oh,
that's a great track as well there from EL Gaming. They're not going to get the reset. Oh, no. Oh. That's bad luck from the Horsemen. Good play from EL Gaming. No matter which way you want to say it, it was a good win from EL.
Yep, absolutely. Fantastic win there from EL Gaming. Horsemen making it hard, though, for sure. I think, well, we saw that last little shot of desperation by Falusa there in that FV215B, but not to be, I guess. And EL Gaming with a interesting, well, it was a little bit of a different attack than what we're used to seeing. It was kind of a three-pronged split push by EL that really helped them out. And obviously, you know, in that initial engagement, they were able to get more tanks down of the Horsemen. They prioritised their targets quite well, and it worked out well for them.
Definitely did work out well for them. Now find themselves at 4-2 after the first 3 maps. So some good stuff coming out from EL. Being challenged a little bit by Horsemen though, so not too surprising to see Horsemen get a couple of rounds here. Let's have a look at the replay.
Okay, so Black here. Oh, yes, of course. Oh my goodness.
How do you manage to get back over?
No idea.
That shouldn't happen.
I have no idea how he managed to get back up.
I like that he just shoots a shot into the mouth as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Mr. Black, you are my new favourite player. But yeah, so here when EL Gaming pushed up, they were able to get the first 2 tanks down of Horsemen. They were able to get the damage off the field quickly. Horsemen, I mean, just that they tried to respond, and they did get a few decent shots off towards EL Gaming. They did take down a few of the EL tanks, but just not enough at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So Horsemen, I mean, they go 1-1 on Rulenberg. Probably not too disappointing of a result for them, but they would have hoped for the 2-0 so that they could really still be in this one. They're going to have difficulty coming back into it, obviously. And before we let you know what the next map is, let's have a look at our post-battle stats. Flag in the 113 did a lot of work.
Okay, Flag with 4,000 damage in that 113. He, well, that's a bit of a carry if I've ever seen one for EL Gaming. And Fox DS in that grill, really making that grill work. 2.7 thousand damage in that one, with Mr. Sunme next after that. And apart from that, nothing too special on the bottom portion of the scoreboard. Colin, though, in that IS-7, only 552 damage, which really not amazing.
Not ideal.
Not ideal.
Ideal at all. Still, that's it for EL Gaming there on Rulenberg. And of course, they go 1-1 with Horsemen. Now, next map is going to be Prokhorovka, which, to be honest, is probably the worst map Horsemen could have hoped for. It's a terrible map for Horsemen.
Horsemen are not good on Prokhorovka. No matter how you spin it, they are not confident on it. They've tried some weird stuff on Prokhorovka before. You know, some weird defensive, heavy, like just I have no idea stuff. And I'm saying I have no idea about what their thought process was. I'm not saying, you know, I'm emulating them saying I have no idea.
Oh, right. Well, to be honest, maybe that's the case because they have won a grand total of 2 times on Prokhorovka throughout the first 5 weeks. EL Gaming, on the other hand, 100% win rate, have not lost on Prokhorovka, and they've played it a fair bit as well. So
10 times. Dire
situation at the moment here for Horsemen. If I had to make a prediction, 1-0 to EL.
You reckon?
I don't even think we're going to go to the second half.
You don't reckon we're going to go to the second
half?
half?
Way. No way. Not a chance.
I don't know. Well, guys, why don't you let us know what you think in the chat right here on the stream, or why not even on Twitter using the hashtag WGL APAC. Follow us at WGL APAC. We've got all the social medias, but I think Horsemen are going to be really hoping for everyone's votes for this one because they cannot be feeling confident moving into it.
Let's see what we're going to be seeing coming out of the Horsemen here. You said they've had some interesting picks. Let's see if they'll do it again. 3 IS-7, that's a little bit out there.
That's out there.
Prokhorovka.
Yep. On the attack. Why? I'm sorry.
Quick rush into that one cap with 3 IS-7s.
You reckon?
And ding a bunch of shots as the EL Gaming guys try and reset the cap. That would be the dream for Horsemen, wouldn't it?
Rushing into a cap with IS-7s.
Well, you know what? Not a rush, but like they go there, they drive straight to the one cap and plonk themselves on it.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Neither am I.
I mean, look, this is Prokhorovka. It's an open map. It's a big map. It's a wide map. It's a long map, right? IS-7s. It's not a tank that screams Prokhorovka. Having 1 IS-7, I've got no problems with. But 3, you know, like unless they get a really close range brawl, the IS-7, it's got a 130mm Soviet gun. Yeah. It's not the most accurate thing in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like you're not going to be, you know, doing yourself many favors.
Wow. Okay. Well, one of them lands onto Black. Actually, yeah, just one.
Oh, we're seeing EL.
Yeah, this is EL all over. Just going straight up that hill, trying to get the damage across and dinging a lot of shots.
Many ricochets.
Gorilla.
Like 4 ricochets from those TVPs.
He's making music with the shells of his enemies. Ding, 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 ding. And Black's already out of the battle, so, well, who would have thunk it?
Well, I mean, actually, it's kind of, I'm almost retracting my statements a little bit about the IS-7s right now because they're actually in a close-range brawl.
Yeah, not so sure exactly what EL Gaming is doing here, trying to get into a brawl, but they have got the focus fire working.
But the Horsemen up there.
Yeah,
three of the Horsemen
yeah,
up there.
exactly. 3 of the Horsemen are just sitting up on the hill, so really, despite being in a good situation there for the IS-7s, they're actually in a really bad one because there was a 3 versus 7. And yeah, Horsemen got the first pick.
If the Horsemen had all been there, then like that could have been completely the other way.
Well, I mean, if all the Horsemen had been there, you'd have to say EL probably wouldn't have gone for that.
Well, maybe.
I'd argue.
Maybe, but...
Now the Horseman come back with a vengeance, though. Is quiet, finding himself very low on HP, and now finding himself dead. Sunmi in his Object 140, still trying to put some damage across, and now we're really just waiting for those autoloaders of EL Gaming to get reloaded and get involved in this little brawl that we found ourselves in. And, well, it's not looking like a good situation at all here for the Horsemen.
No, it is not looking great at all, and the Horsemen with only 3 tanks left. That next one should be going down pretty soon. DHXD to Guan Ren and Spencer in that Batchat AP. Look, he's only got a couple of shells left. Hawks goes down. Spencer's one shot from death, and he gave it a good crack. The Horsemen, look, again, I like that. That was where the IS-7s could have actually worked in an all-out brawl, but at the end of the day, EL Gaming. It's too strong. Saw the opportunity. Oh, look at that. A 3v7.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's go.
Let's do it.
5-2 in the favour of EL Gaming. They pick up the victory over Horsemen quite convincingly in the end. And as you mentioned, Horsemen going for a bit of a different strategy there on Prokhorovka that didn't quite work out.
Not quite. I think that would definitely be the way to put it. But on Prokhorovka, look, I mean, if all of the Horsemen had those tanks there, you know, maybe it would have worked. But I just don't see why they push their tanks all the way up to the hill when they're just leaving 3 tanks just completely on their own. I don't mind the idea of splitting your tanks, right? But if you're going to put 3 tanks up towards the center of the map, then you've got the railway here. You know, why not push the other 4 just on the other side of the railway? So that once EL Gaming kind of engage them, you can just pop right over rather than having to come all the way down around from the hill, you know?
It's a question I cannot answer for you, Alex, but it was a very good performance there from EL in the end. They have still not lost on Prokhorovka. It started out okay for the Horsemen, but as soon as EL recognized that really it was these only these IS-7s that they had to deal with, they just got straight in there.
Yeah, and like, look, you see Spencer went the railway. Like, he hugged the railway when he came up, and he was in the fight right from when it started off. Archon, DHXD, and Co could have gone up the railway and they wouldn't have been spotted by EL Gaming up until the fight started. You know, EL Gaming didn't actually know, you see, whether those guys were coming up the railway or whether they were, you know, all the way on the other side of the map. Right, they didn't have eyes on those extra 3 members from the Horsemen. So,
well, I think I know what the post-battle stats are going to look like, and it's not going to be pretty for Horsemen. Only 2 out of the top 7.
Yep, not pretty at all. It was funny, those TVPs at the start, ricocheting so many shots off the IS-7. And you know, in a brawl like that's where the IS-7s can, again, like we said, can work on Prokhorovka. When you ricochet all those shots, you know, the TVPs, they're fighting against 2 TVPs. TVPs have the lowest armor penetration out of, well, one of the lowest armor penetrations out of any tier 10 in the game, you know? Out of any tier 10 medium at least. So really, it had the potential to work, but unfortunately for the Horsemen, it didn't.
Definitely didn't work out too well there for the Horsemen. Just to remind everyone, 5-2 in the favour of EL Gaming. Now, that was pretty confident score from EL Gaming again, although it did seem like there was a couple of opportunities there for Horsemen to come into things. Obviously, they got 2 rounds. So, again, EL not quite up to their usual standard, would you say? Or they're looking good again?
I think they're looking good again. If we take a look at the maps which EL Gaming lost, you know, they lost a half on mines.
Yep.
Obviously, EL Gaming not big fans of mines. Little bit strange for them to lose that Ruinberg half.
Yeah.
But again, that was a weird one. Like, and I think that was EL Gaming getting kind of counterplayed quite hard there by the Horsemen. Horsemen in Ruinberg really, you know, read EL Gaming's aggression, expected them to push, and they did. Other teams may not have pushed into that. So, you know, I still think EL Gaming did, you know, their right thing, and it was still close. You know, if they got 1 or 2 resets, they still would have won it. But overall, I think they're back on form, and I think it's actually good to see that the Horsemen are very much, in my opinion, back on form as well. Because heading into phase 2 of the season tomorrow,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to need to be on form.
It did look like Horseman was getting, you know, some things out of that one, but of course they went down in the end there. So let's have a look and see how today went. It was B Gaming up against Karen Tiger initially. Karen Tiger clutching it out, and yet again, another tiebreaker win for the Japanese lineup. And EL Gaming versus Horseman, we just saw.
Yes, there we go. And of course, we only have 2 matches today because it is the end of the first kind of phase of the season, as we're calling it. And that means that tomorrow we start off the next phase with only 8 teams remaining in our ladder. Of course, Team Epic Gear Profit going down, Gold Bass going down, Twist and Run going down as well. So we say goodbye to those 4 guys.
We do indeed. Let's have a look and see how they did throughout the season here in the standings. At the end of Phase 1, EL Gaming, no surprises, up the top there, but you can see the 4 bottom teams have now been faded out, and they will be leaving the Gold League, the Gold Series.
Yes, well, to fight another day. Hopefully we see them in the next season, wherever. But for now, they're gone. So we're left with the final. The top 8 teams in the Asia Pacific region, well, with a pretty good mix, to be honest. And I mean, we've got 2 Korean teams, Meltdown and Dark Wolves, that come in from, you know, obviously the Korean region, which up until this season hadn't really been kind of all one league. They used to have their own league, of course, over in Korea. But it's great to see that I think our region as a whole is improving. And the end of Phase 1 really is, I think, marks the start of a kind of new, even better level of tanking.
Will definitely be a very competitive second half of our season coming out here. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be the start of Phase 2. And what that means is we are going to be seeing all of our top 8 teams play each other once again.
I love it.
And our first match of tomorrow, EL Gaming versus Dark Wolves. Meltdown and Horsemen coming up after that. Efficiency and Coalition Zoo we've seen recently as well. The one to look out for, though, B Gaming and Karen Tiger.
The rematch.
Grudge match.
The grudge match. Karen Tiger coming off their win today. Look, B Gaming are so going to be wanting to come back from that. And the prime time as well. So, honestly, that one is not going to be a match to miss. I mean, honestly, all of these matches tomorrow should be super close.
They should.
I think. And, yeah, definitely looking forward to them. But B Gaming and Karen Tiger definitely my pick of the bunch.
Definitely looking like an interesting Phase 2. We know, of course, that the points from the first phase do follow over into Phase 2. So EL Gaming, of course, going to still be sitting up in there towards the top, heading in towards what could potentially be a finals berth. We have got that coming up relatively shortly. I mean, it's not too far away. So these teams now, these top 8, it's going to be competitive, and they need to really be getting as many points as they can.
Exactly. They want those points for sure. You know, there's lots to fight for in the next sort of phase of the season, I guess. And I think now that we've seen all of the teams kind of get their footing in Phase 1, it's the hot end of the competition now. It's go time.
It definitely is go time. For now, we will head to our close of stream. But if you're interested in Phase 2, you should definitely tune in tomorrow. It's going to be kicking off at 4 p.m, our usual time, Australian Eastern Standard Time here in Australia. And we will, of course, see you then for Phase number 2 of the WGL APAC. Until then, good night and happy tanking.